Rappers and music producers, sometimes your self-promotion comes off as arrogant and insecure. Ugh, let's talk about it. Rappers and music producers, you gotta promote yourself. This is just facts. You have to promote yourself. You gotta put your music out there because at the end of the day, if you're not promoting yourself, who will? But there are certain techniques and certain ways to go about it that I think give off the wrong message. And I think sometimes you mean well, but what you end up transferring or what you end up communicating to the person that you're promoting to, generally to me, two emotions come up or two different characteristics come up: arrogance and insecurity. I see sometimes where I look at producers who share their good news, and then other producers come in there and somehow, some way find a way to talk about themselves instead of congratulating that producer. Or you'll get, rappers who do the same thing, who are like, rappers who would say, man, we finally got to 2,000 plays. And then the rapper comes in and says something like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, my new song, man. I remember when I got 2,000 plays like 4 months ago. Like, that's dope, man. That's a good feeling. Now, people try to make a case for this and say, well, what's wrong with that? He's just congratulating him and basically, patting himself on the back because he's proud. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your accomplishments. There's a place and time for everything. And I think a lot of times when you make it about you, and everywhere you go, I even see it sometimes in my YouTube comments on videos that have nothing to do with your song or your album or your beat page. There's a place and time for everything. And it's funny how some folks will come here and leave these comments, these self-promoting comments in places where it's like, you don't understand this particular video, while you think it has a lot of views, it ain't been getting a lot of views in the last few weeks. So you're literally promoting to nobody right now. And you just throwing your music out there. And then also too, YouTube immediately flags your stuff as basically spammy. I don't even have to do anything. A lot of times the comments don't even pop up in my stuff. But here's the thing. When you feel the need at every given point in time to not even have a conversation with the person that you're promoting in front of, getting on Twitter and tweeting, 400 people or whatever, like it may come off to you as you're getting out there grinding, hustling. I'm getting out to many people as possible. I'm being very sociable. There ain't nothing sociable about spamming everybody. And I think that, you give off certain vibes that are like, if you're talking about yourself during somebody else's time to be celebrated, it comes off as arrogant. It comes off as, your ego is too big to congratulate them without big upping yourself. When you're sitting up here and you're promoting in every single place and you're putting the same standard tweet, the same standard text in every single social media, it comes off as insecure. When I had the mindset, let me tell you the mindset that shifted all that. Because there was a place in time when I was on MySpace and I was hitting every page up. I had an automatic MySpace commenter or whatever, right? And it would go to every single page and I had to put up some caption every once in a while just to do this. And then it dawned on me. I was like, I probably look like every other struggling artist, every other struggling producer out here. And it wouldn't be far from the truth. And I looked at that and I said, who do I want to be aligned with? Who am I looking up to? Am I looking up to other spammers? Do I want to have the trajectory of their career? Or do I want to have the trajectory of somebody who says, I'm not going to spam you. I'm going to create something that is undeniably entertaining, undeniably amazing, that people congregate to what I'm doing. And when I started seeing that, and then I started assigning, another mindset with, this not spamming, that I'm going to be okay. I think that's it sounds so simple, but really dig into it. When you feel like you're going to be okay, how worried are you about your environment? Now, when I see insecurity, when I see people spamming all over the place, I have the feeling more so than not that you are afraid of your music not being heard. You're afraid of all the hard work that it took to make that song, to mix that song, all the money you put into it. You're afraid it's going to be a loss. So you're trying to ensure success by pretty much going along your path in a very synthetic way, promoting to everybody. You think that's promotion, but it's just, it comes off as insecure. And I don't think enough people tell you about that. And I think that when you have the mindset that everything is going to be okay, I'm going to be straight, even if these plays don't get to where they need to get to, when you have that mindset, you have a certain security within yourself to where you say, I'm not going to be doing this. This is not a part of my DNA to be out here spamming. Don't do it. It comes off as arrogant and insecure. And I think that when you shift that part of your brain, you're going to see a different response. Tell me how many success stories you've seen from people spamming. And I bet you it's nowhere in comparison to the people who decided, you know what, I'm going to get out here on my own and I'm going to attract the right individuals. I'm going to actually build up my fan base a person at a time. I'm going to actually get this music to the people that need to hear it the most. Make my message as clear as possible to the people that need to hear it the most, not just anybody. And going back to the self-promotion and the arrogance standpoint, if you feel like you're going to be okay, if you're secure about where you're at, you ain't got to mention yourself every time somebody else succeeds. That comes off as arrogant and insecure. So really, 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 really analyze the fine line that you are walking as you do self-promotion, as you're being a part of the community and you're trying to show your significance, because really that's what it is that when you see somebody else's blessings, if I was a psychologist, I would look at that and say, you feel insignificant because of this person's significance at this moment in time. So in order for you to get those emotions out, you have to say something that big ups yourself and in the same breath makes them feel, either equal or less than you. And I just think that's corny. I think that's corny, and I think that it's something that I see that's way too prevalent within our hip hop community, way too prevalent in our online community. And I think that, when you have the security of knowing like things may not look so good right now, but I know one day they'll flip into the opposite. I know if I keep working, I know that if I keep putting out, quality product, I know that I'll get the reaction that I deserve. And sometimes it's not about, talking that stuff, because sometimes you do got to talk your stuff. I understand that's part of hip hop, but you don't got to talk your stuff on somebody else's accomplishments or somebody else's page. Talk your stuff on your own, but don't talk it so much where you look like the guy that is just a flaming insecure piece of mess. I don't even know what I was going to say. A flaming insecure piece of junk where you just walking around here and you got to big up yourself at every given point in time because you feel like if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. I understand Kanye's quote about I use my arrogance as a steam to power my dreams. That don't work for everybody. That ain't everybody's personality. And if that's not your personality, stop it. Just stop. Because you're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot and word gets around faster than you think when they're dealing with difficult people. I got invited to rooms with Grammy-winning producers, not because I was a Grammy-winning producer. I don't have a Grammy. I got a Granny. I don't have a Grammy. I don't got none of that, right? But here's the thing about it is that you have to be somebody that is easy to work with. You have to be somebody that is and I'm not saying you have to change yourself. I'm just saying that these are some of the common attributes that I see with people in that room. You have to be easy to work with, follow directions, be able to give directions when the time is appropriate, be able to create on the spot, be able to not complain, not have to take 1,000,001 breaks. That's why I did the Roscoe the Taco videos, because I've seen this happen and these rappers don't get invited back to the studio. Simply because they disrupt the flow or they think so much about themselves that they're not thinking about how can I be of value to the people that are in this room. So revisit these topics and I'm sure that you'll know the appropriate changes needed to be made. At the end of the day, I think you really know in your heart the difference between that arrogant self-promotion, that insecure self-promotion, and just spreading a good word about your business. Once again, it's another Curtspiration Doodle. You need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. You got any Curtspiration ideas that you want to get heard? Go to CurtisKingBeats.com/Curtspiration. And I will get to your question as soon as possible. Doubling back to the topic at hand, before I do that, the Prosperous Hip Hop Producer is out right now. Go to CurtisKingBeats.com/books. Coming back to the topic at hand, though, when it comes to self-promotion, redo it. Okay. Coming back to the topic at hand, when it comes to self-promotion, just make sure that you are doing it in a tasteful manner, because people don't like when they feel like you have to big up yourself in order to accept somebody else's good news. Look, somebody else's blessings is not your curse. So stop reacting in that way. You know, when you come off and you feel like I got to promote every single place and I don't care what you're talking about. I've seen people put promotional posts when somebody passes away on Instagram. Like, that's the most jerk shit that you could ever do. And it comes off as really insecure and really arrogant, and it's not the time and place for it. If you got somebody that's doing these auto tweets or make sure that they understand that this is not the place for that. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot, because you're going to always be known as that person that promoted their song on somebody's rest in peace post. Terrible company to be in. In this life, you would not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King at CurtisKingBeats.com.